Hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Talks. This is episode 94. We have a great guest today, Jillian Fikkert. She is I just said it, VP of Sales and Marketing with Buckingham Companies. She's been with them just a few months, but it so far has been a great change for her and a great a move on her behalf when it comes to her personal and professional life. And so we'll get into that a little bit more, but super happy for her that she's landed somewhere that's been a positive in her life. She's been in the industry for 20 years. I know that there's a lot of you that know her, and she's in Pennsylvania. So representing yet another person in Pennsylvania as we head into Apartmentalize next week in Philly. Super excited to have her and be representing the Northeast in that region, and excited to have her and others at our boss brunch next week on Wednesday in the morning as we kick off NAA Apartmentalize and have some fun and network that morning. So super stoked to have that. And I'm happy to say, we doubled our RSVPs, 200 people this year, had 100 last year. We thought that was great. This is going to be crazy in comparison, I feel like, but super excited nonetheless. But today we're going to get to it with Jillian. But first, I'm Evan Happel, your host. I am with Community Boss, and we have a great solution for you when it comes to managing your physical spaces, whether that's your parking, your amenities, or mapping. We got you covered. We really make it a great environment and community feel when it comes to using your physical space. So if you have any issues with your guest parking or other parking or using your physical amenities, we would love to help make it a better experience for those that live there. So if you have any questions, let me know. But today we're getting to it with Jillian. So let's bring it to the show.
Hey,
Jillian.
Evan.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, it came so quickly. So quickly. I'm excited to have everybody come on over to the Northeast. I feel like we're always traveling all over the rest of the country. It's good to see it on the
Absolutely.
East Coast.
Has it been up in your area before?
You know, I am not sure if NAA has been in Philly before.
Because they go back to certain areas here and there, California, San Diego,
Atlanta,
like
Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll ever make it to Seattle. We'll see. But I don't know if it's ever made it over this area.
I don't know. That would be fun, though.
Yeah. It might be that we are so up in the corner and far from everyone that it's
hard to get there. Yeah. A little bit hard to get there.
Yeah. The density of the Northeast and other parts of the country are substantially higher. That is for sure. But
for sure.
Either way, we're excited to get there, and I already know that I'm going to be exhausted at the end of the week.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to think about it too much.
For sure. I know everybody's inbox is insane right now, and everybody's schedule is filling up. And just a piece of advice to everybody, like, make sure you're making some time for yourself. Get out there. Don't overschedule yourself. You will find the people that you need to find. Most likely they know how to get in touch with you, because they definitely have your email. Right? For sure. But definitely make time for yourself. Make time to see the city a little bit. There's tons of history. There's amazing food. So don't just be locked up in that convention center. Make sure you get out.
Absolutely. Now, back to the email. Okay, so we talked a little bit before we got on, kind of about the bombardment of email that happens, and this is every year before Apartmentalize. It might be something that we just need to have a town hall meeting about.
Yeah, maybe.
And talk about how can we do this different.
I agree. I think that everybody is feeling a bit bombarded. And I mean, I've seen a lot of posts on LinkedIn just speaking about it, how it's overwhelming. And those that you want to meet with, you will meet with, and you will find them. And it's a huge conference. So I understand people trying to vie for others' attention, but a lot of people are just selecting all and deleting because it is a lot.
Yes, it is. I mean, I did not buy the list this year. You're welcome,
Thank you.
everyone. I did email a few people, but a very select few, I think 100 and something, tried to be very personalized as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it was to invite them to the brunch, and I know they wanted to come. So, that was all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but this industry is about authentic connections. And it means a lot for a lot of people to make sure that it's not just a blast. Oh, have you gotten an email that has the wrong name in it? And then you're like, what?
Oh.
Just no. No, we're not going to do that.
Uh-oh. That probably means everybody did because they like offset the
Yeah.
name or something.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Went to
goodness.
everybody that way.
Oh,
But anyway.
that's too bad. We won't call them out.
No.
Maybe we should just call everyone out. That would
Actually,
be fun.
I did see a post this past week. Oh, who posted it? It was really great. It was some great examples. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, was it Faith?
Oh, it was Faith.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it too.
She did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, she called out a good one, and I haven't posted it and I don't know if I will, but she had the thing that she shared was Philly slang, and it was
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Rez Page that posted
Yep,
it or
Rez
sent the
Page.
email.
Yeah.
So I took almost all of the slang and made a video of me trying to say it.
Oh, you'll
Um,
have to send me that link. I have to see that.
it isn't publicly anywhere. I shared it
Oh, yeah.
privately to a few people. I'll send it to you. But I did my best. Apparently, I've gotten to be 40, and I no longer care about being self-deprecating or laughed at. So,
I mean, that is what your 40s are about, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's you
Yeah.
just you don't care anymore, and it's okay, and it's freeing.
It is. Yeah.
It
Go ahead and
is.
laugh at me. If you have a chuckle at my expense, I fully am okay with it.
Okay,
That's fine.
I'll definitely report back. And I mean, if anybody else wants that link, you know how to find me.
Yeah. No, I don't care. No, it's fine. Yeah. And if it accidentally makes it to the internet, that's fine too. I don't care.
I love it.
All right. Well, before we get to really the meat of things, the things you wanted to really talk about, there's just my 3 questions that I like to go through. And first, before we get there, I just want to say thank you to all the people that are joined and commenting. I don't know if you're seeing it, Jillian, but if you hit the comment button.
Comments?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Lots.
They're here. But you're doing great. So they're nothing but encouraging. Don't worry.
I should turn them off while we talk.
Yeah, you'll just want to read them. Yeah, I know. No, but thank you so much, everybody that's here. Steve, Joe, who else we got? Ian, Megan, and then a LinkedIn user. Not sure who you are. Maybe tell us who you are. You did ask a question, I believe. So maybe we'll get to that in a minute. But nonetheless, thank you so much for being here, everybody, and all that will join. Shout out where you're coming from and whether or not you're going to be at Apartmentalize next week, because we'd love to connect. That's for sure. All right. So my first question, though, is when it comes to building community in the professional sense, or personal sense, I should say, because we'll get into the rest later.
Sure.
How do you approach that? What do you do in your personal life to get community built?
Yeah. So something we were talking about earlier. So I relocated to Pennsylvania kind of on a whim for work, but it was like, hey, how do you feel about Lancaster, Pennsylvania? As I lived in Massachusetts. And I was like, sure, I'll go. Let's go. And I packed up my car and drove 8 hours and never left. So I didn't know a soul in the area at all, and just kind of right in my 20s decided to start over. So I have really built a community of friends and now some family that I've really leaned into. And it's something that you mentioned earlier too. Like when you get a little bit older, you really find out where those valuable friendships are. And it could be somebody that you've had a long-standing relationship. Or it's funny. I see my new friend Andrea in the chat right now. Andrea and I met at AIM a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
We were in the elevator together and realized that we live one town away from each other.
Wow.
Yeah, which it doesn't happen in Central PA. This is not a mecca of multifamily people, right? So now we are just connecting left and right, and it's wonderful. So finding people professionally that turn into your friends, building that community that support you with your family, that support your interests and align, I think is so incredibly important to have a fulfilling life. So I think, being selective and determining who takes up that time and space for you and really brings joy to your life. It's important.
Absolutely. I think being able to not try to please everyone
Oh, for sure.
and be everyone's friend. Now you can be nice, you can be
Yeah,
cordial, you know,
for sure.
but not everybody deserves your time necessarily.
Agreed.
There's
Yeah,
so
for
much
sure.
going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids and work and travel and all the things, you don't have as much time to give as you did at one point in your life. So you've got to be selective and make sure, something that I've learned over time is it's okay to say no. And it's okay to sometimes feel a little bit of that FOMO. It's all right. Can feel FOMO from my couch. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no kidding. I've actually made it a point. This show was created from the desire to connect with people,
Yeah,
but not have to fly around the country to do so
I love that. Yeah,
because it's expensive, it's exhausting, it's just so much.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's something that I think, as things have changed over the last few years, right? And we've adopted spaces like this that we can log into and have conversations, even working relationships and teams. I've managed people that have been in very different places across the country, and you're still working together closely and building relationships. There is definitely something to say when you do get together in person and you finally have
Oh,
that
for sure.
moment. But technology has allowed us to really build those connections so that when we are together, it feels different, right?
Absolutely. And the fact that I can do this from my house, like,
Sure.
can you
Yeah.
even think of a few years ago this was first of all possible, and second of all
Yeah.
from your home? Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember when we were like, oh, we don't want to be on video. This is weird. I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure about it. And yeah,
Yeah.
no, always video. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Although my company, not a video company. We tend to turn it off.
Well, when you get on the phone with someone from marketing, they tend to usually have their video on.
I am sometimes the guy that has it on and no one else,
Yeah.
um, which
Yeah.
is a little awkward. And then I at some point shut it off. But yeah, yeah, that's true.
Read the room. Read the room,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm like, all right, well, we're not doing that today. Okay, got it. Well, thanks for answering. And next question is when it comes to hospitality and
Yeah.
having over people over at your home or some other space, how is it that you like to provide the sense of hospitality through food? What would you make or buy to do so?
Yeah. Okay. So we love to entertain. I live in the middle of nowhere on 3 acres.
Very
And
not multifamily.
no, no, I don't live at one of our properties, but that's
No.
okay. I had and in my time I did. So
Yes.
I have those experiences, but we love to have people, especially this time of year, and to cook out. And we're always, doing like grilled chicken with sides. But I have to tell you about this like magical little super easy recipe
I'm here
that
for
I don't know what
magic.
happens. I don't know what happens, but it's magic. Okay.
Okay.
So all you do is you get a green bell pepper and you cut it up into like almost like a boat, like little boats. Okay.
Okay.
And seed it, do the whole thing, right? You put them on the grill. You take some shredded cheddar cheese. Now, you got to shred that cheese yourself. Don't buy it out of the bag. It makes a difference. If you're not doing that, please do it.
Yeah.
Then you take some Worcestershire sauce and put it
Can you
on
say that
top.
again? I love that
Worcestershire
word.
sauce. Yeah, you take that, you put it on top, and then you put Cajun seasoning on top of it, and you like let it char, and all the cheese melts. It's so simple, but it is like magic. I like mine almost burnt. My husband likes his with a little crunch, so we kind of fight over that a little bit when we're making them. But I swear, I didn't make it up. So someone made it. I
I've
make
never
it.
heard of this.
People that come to our house, they start making it. It
Huh.
is so good. So super simple. Try it next time.
So this is peppers, just
Green
bell
peppers, just a green bell pepper, shredded
cheese,
cheddar. Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce.
Sure.
I don't know how to say it. What was the other? Is that it?
Cajun seasoning.
Cajun
seasoning.
Okay,
Like
that's it.
Yeah.
And this combo is just magical.
Yeah, you grill it up, char it a little bit, it all melts. Take a second, don't burn the top of your mouth, but it is really good.
Thanks for that tip. I'm always the guy that burns my mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do that. It is grilling season. I have already begun. I think every meal so far we've done something, whether it's a hot dog, chicken, burger. Yeah, we've been definitely
It's so weird. All the other seasons, like I don't ever eat a hot dog any other time unless I'm like at a ballpark. But all of a sudden, the summer comes, you want to eat a hot dog, like go-to meal.
Yeah, they just go together. It makes a lot of sense for some reason. No, it's true. Yes, Steve, maybe we need to have you on here and give us a lesson on how to say the word, because I really don't know. Here it is. Worcestershire, Worcestershire. I maybe you're confused too.
I think it's Worcestershire. No, I could be very wrong, but
I don't know. I know I say it wrong every single time I say it. I say it a different way every time I say it. So it's one of those words. But anyways, it's always fun though. All right. Final question. When it comes to your caffeinated beverage of choice, what is the go-to?
Okay. So I've been traveling a lot, and I will say there's nothing better than a cup of coffee from your own home. Right? Like the coffee at home just tastes better. Please don't drink coffee out of the coffee maker in your hotel room. I'm in a hotel right now. Don't use that coffee maker. I mean, yes, if you have to get Starbucks, cool. But I want, my Nespresso with my almond milk steamed with my like sugar-free salted caramel syrup in it. And I just want to like have that experience of sitting at home. I will say that outside of coffee, because I'm sure, that's probably the default, like the coffee thing. If you're coming to Philly, Turkey Hill Diet Green Tea is elite.
Turkey Hill Diet Green Tea?
Diet Green Tea.
It's better than if it's not diet?
It's not too sweet.
Okay.
It is so good.
Is this like a canned beverage, or do you need to get
the
tea bag and
a plastic bottle? The little, or you can get a gallon. We go through gallons all summer long. Turkey Hill is a dairy, also known for their ice cream, based in Pennsylvania, but they also have convenience stores all over the state of Pennsylvania, and they sell these products there. So get yourself a Turkey Hill iced tea. You can choose the flavor of your choice. There's orange, there's peach, there's regular tea.
Do they have Arnold Palmer?
I don't think they do. They do sell lemonade.
Okay. So I just need to get a tea, or maybe I take the green tea and the lemonade and put those together. Is that weird? I haven't done that. I don't know.
I think we should
But
try it.
okay, but I'm a
Let's
big
get some
fan.
for
That's
brunch.
especially during the summertime. But even just when I go to any restaurant, that's that's the beverage I get is tea and lemonade.
I have a hard time saying Arnold Palmer.
Oh gosh, that's the other word, Arnold Palmer. You have to like slow down.
Yeah,
Arnold
yeah,
Palmer.
Worcestershire. Steve, how do you say that correctly? Tell
She
us.
said that you. He said that you said it right. So
Okay, thanks,
yeah,
Steve.
I guess you're the go-to when it comes to that word. I'll just have to play this back every time I'm going to say it so that I can achieve
Yeah,
excellence in that
get those
speaking.
views up.
No, but again, thanks for everybody being here. We got a few other people that have joined. Andrea, you already saw. Chelsea, and who else? Who else? Leisha, she's from my neck of the woods. Thanks for being here. Yeah, got a good crowd. Thanks for representing. Thanks for being here for Jillian. It's really awesome. Okay,
Guys.
so that is the list of questions. From here on out, I'm shooting from the hip. Just to let you know,
Okay,
I don't
love it.
prepare. This is all about conversation. So it's time to get into it. All right. So when it comes to you, something that you've really done well and been able to utilize in the sense of pursuing new careers and things like that is your network. So
Yeah.
how is it that you have built that, been intentional with it, and found that it's helped you?
Yeah. So I think that multifamily is this special place to begin with. It is a tight knit group. I think a lot of people have connected over the years, whether they're working on the vendor supplier side or the PMC side. And oftentimes we're moving around and we're building a lot of different relationships. And I think that if you can kind of take those relationships to the next level and really be authentic in them, right? It's not just a transaction. It's, people are looking to you when, from the vendor side to the PMC side. There's sales relationships and then there's personal relationships, and figuring out, where you can make those meaningful, I think is important. And intentional, and not just calling people when you need something.
Right.
And I think that, being able to have someone pick up the phone and say, hey, I have this idea. Can I shoot it by you? Or, hey, have you ever used this product before? Let me know what you think. How did this work for you? Where were, what worked great for you? What didn't? So I think on all sides of the business, having that ability to have those open relationships and know that you're someone that someone can call to kind of chat about things is so very important. I saw someone talking the other day about how you need to just like check in with people. Like, it doesn't always need to be for a specific purpose. Just checking in, see how they're doing. And what does that look like? Versus calling someone when, things are on fire and you need to kind of figure out what's happening. Right. So, I mean, you alluded earlier in the conversation that I've recently made a change with my career and where I'm working. And, previously I was at my last company for about 8 years, and it's a good long stretch. And there was a reorganization that happened, and, it left myself and a few of my team members with the opportunity to kind of figure out what was next. And I came at looking at that as an opportunity, as a, being that everything happens for a reason, and I'm just going to ride with it. I'm not going to sit around and mope and kind of, feel sorry for myself. I'm going to figure out what's next for me. And I think being in that headspace is so incredibly important. I think over the last year, maybe a couple of years, a lot of us have kind of found ourselves in that space as, things have changed in the economy, and, there's been a lot of mergers and buyouts and all of those things. There's been a lot of conversation about people changing, where they've been. And I think that if you're in a spot where you are looking for what's next, I think being upfront with that, I found that was that transparency and that vulnerability of saying, hey guys, I lost my job. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I just want to kind of like come on this journey with me.
Mm.
And that just opened up so many conversations of, what does this look like? What's my day to day? What's working for me? And I kind of took the approach of in that time period, I'm working for me, and I need to figure out what's the next best fit for me. And I'm not just looking for a job. I'm looking for a place that I really feel as though the culture is a great fit, that I'm excited to go to work every day, that there's like-minded people, and that it can really flourish. So, I really kind of set some goals for myself to make sure that I was having conversations with people. I was, using my time wisely to uh, hop on podcasts that I didn't have the opportunity to listen to in the middle of the day previously, and really listen to other people's stories, and reach out to people and ask for advice. And, one of the things that I thought was really interesting in that time period was other people that were also looking for roles similar to what I was looking for. We were connecting with each other, and we were having conversations, and we never really saw it as competition, because everybody has such a different, unique set of skills and
Yeah.
experiences that, I would go on an interview and I'd be like, this might not be for me, but you know what? This would be a great opportunity for this person. And being able to connect them like that brings me so much joy. So I think that leaning into your network all the time is important, but I think that transparency of your journey is something that I think is okay. And we're in that space now with LinkedIn of people kind of talking about their day to day. People want to hear what's going on, and have a feel for, what people are experiencing out there.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And I think there is probably a lot of people are hesitant to do something like that. They don't want to be looked at as someone that they lost their job because they're not good at what they do.
Right.
Uh, you know, um, and bringing attention to it. It's like, oh yeah,
Right.
I'm not
Yeah,
working. But sometimes it just happens, and
for
and
sure.
and I think more people want to root for people
Yes.
than they want to see people fail.
Hmm.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
As long as you've like portrayed yourself, and this gets to your next point, cultivating your reputation. So like,
Yeah,
it's one thing to have a network, but you can have within that network a really bad reputation.
for sure. For sure. And I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier with being open, right? Being open to have conversations, to hear people out, to be someone that will be able to, hey, I'm not going to necessarily use your product right now, but if you want to run it by me, like, let's have the conversation. It's great. Maybe I can hook you up with someone else, or maybe it'll be a solution for me in the future. But I think that being someone that's approachable, that is, that wants to have a meaningful conversation with you, that it isn't a one-sided relationship, makes such a difference.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be serious. What I'm doing right now is
Yeah,
exactly what you're saying, right?
absolutely.
I am making relationships. I don't have any like I'm not saying you have to use my product to be on here,
Yeah.
and it may not result in that. But it's a way to meet people and build relationship, and it's been nothing but positive for me when it comes to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, in the space of, looking for your next opportunity, there's always that saying that it's easier to look for a job when you have a job. That's a huge lie. I think that's the truth anymore, at least, because
Yeah,
I think that if you can be upfront and you can, tell people about what your experiences are and have those conversations rather than kind of doing it on the sly and, oh, I don't want people to know I'm interviewing and I, keep it
yeah,
on the DL. Um, it's just, it feels, a little bit less secretive, more open, more opportunities are coming to you. People are
that's
sending you, hey,
yeah,
I saw this, maybe you didn't. I think that this would be a great opportunity for you. And that was exactly what happened with the opportunity that I landed. It wasn't even something that I saw that was on my radar with the job posting, and someone sent it to me and they were like, this is you. And I'm like, wow, and I tapped into my network and I'm like, okay, who do I know where? And let me kind of spark a couple conversations to not just be one of the people that apply online and hope for
sure.
the best. How can you tap into others that that work there, that can do intros for you, that can kind of push you along? Because I think that's one of the difficulties in the space as well, is that if you're just applying, submitting your resume, and you don't make that connection or know somebody there that can kind of push your resume to the top, it's tough. It's
Yeah,
really tough out there. So I think making sure that you can tap into and make those connections is super important.
yeah. No, I agree fully. I think, um, just be yourself. Like, hopefully,
For sure.
yourself isn't a jerk. Um, and
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're a jerk, this might not work for you. Let me put that
yeah,
disclaimer at the bottom.
yeah. Um, have some self awareness.
Yeah.
Care about
For
other people.
sure. Yep.
Um, those are important.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think I talked about it a little bit earlier as well. I took the phone call no matter what. If I didn't think, if I was like, oh, this job's not for me, I know right away. But I took that phone call, I had the conversation, and I think that even connecting a few people together, someone that was on my team was looking for a position. The job I was talking to them about was not for me, and I was like, I know who is perfect for this role. And, it was just a recommendation, and she landed that job within a week. And she's
Nice.
been there since, and it's been a wonderful fit for her. And, that's a win-win in my book. Like, even if it's not for me and I can connect the person that it's for, and even still, if I see something and I'm like, wow, that would be that is this person, I'm going to send it to them.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love helping other people get jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder, should I be like a recruiter? And then I'm like, I don't know.
Through that process a few times, like I'd get so excited and I'd tell my husband and he'd be like, should you be a recruiter? And I was like, no, I shouldn't. No, no, no,
It becomes a
no.
whole nother thing. A lot of
Yeah,
pressure, and yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah. No,
the joy
not for
part
me,
probably gets sucked out a little bit. I can
perhaps.
imagine.
But I'm happy in this space.
Yeah,
Maybe a
yeah,
backup plan.
yeah. Maybe someday. No, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you've found that place. And what's
Yeah,
it like to what's it been like at Buckingham? You were saying today you did something kind of special and fun,
yeah.
part of your work day, but I mean, what were you doing today?
Yeah. So I am actually in Indy right now. Buckingham Companies is based in Indiana. So I am downtown. We spent the day volunteering as part of the Buckingham Foundation. So about 50 other people from Buckingham went out and volunteered with Indy Urban Acres. And it was some work.
Yeah,
We went out to a farm, and we moved all kinds of tarps around. We pulled up all of the like watering hoses that were staked down, all the tarps so that they could. I don't know what you do. I'm not a farmer, but
sorry.
it was crazy, and a lot of work, and it really just makes you appreciate um, what you do every day when you compare that physical labor versus the mental load that we maybe take on and exhausts us. But not that farming does not take on a mental load as well. I don't want to diminish that in any way, but being out there with the team and being able to bond in different ways, it's really rewarding, and it's team building, and it really gets you out of your comfort zone and just creates bonds, and you're giving back. And I think that that's so important, to be able to kind of slice some time out of your day. We're all super busy, and to be able to kind of come together and give back. And something that every single person that I talked to as I was joining Buckingham, that piece of culture and giving back and caring about the people that you work with, that just was shining through in every single conversation I had, and the passion that everyone had for the organization. You can learn a lot through the interview process of how they manage the process, how they kind of talk to you about timelines, what that looks like, how open they are in answering your questions. And I think that, you kind of find what you're looking for, and you can see those red flags or those green flags really quickly. And I think it's always super important to trust your gut. So
Absolutely.
I'm glad I did.
So what is it that you think you did, and it allowed you to, I guess, learn enough about Buckingham, for instance, to say, no, this is going to be a good opportunity and a good choice?
Yeah, I think it's just really being in tune with emotional intelligence of those that you're going to work with, and having an understanding of their passion, and how you're able to work together and make an impact. I think that what's important, and you kind of cultivate some questions as you're going through that. When you're in the interview process, as they have their script, you kind of have your script too, and you're asking a lot of those same questions. So it's really interesting to see the difference in how those are answered. And again, I think it's when you know.
Did you make like a mental list, or did you actually write things down? Like, these are the things I need in the next place I land.
Yeah, I think that it was a combination of both. I think that very high level, I looked at, I want to make sure that there is autonomy, that there's passion, that there is a lot of teamwork, and in the sense that, especially in the marketing field in multifamily, you touch so many other departments. You've got to work with a lot of different people to make things happen. And I think it's so important to make sure that when you're having those conversations, that you feel like, yeah, I can work with this team. I know that they're going to be bringing to the table what I'm going to bring to the table every day, and it's going to be a great working relationship. So, there was something, listen, there's some stories that are not appropriate to tell on this podcast right now, which I
Or
could
maybe
do,
they are.
but I don't know. But when there were some red flags, so just don't ignore it. If it seems weird,
Not at Buckingham, at a different
Buckingham, but other interviews.
Yeah.
If it's weird, ask a couple more questions. Ask more questions.
What was now I'm very curious. Were they getting inappropriate?
No, not inappropriate. Just we'll chat later.
Okay. It's just, it is surprising sometimes. I've had some doozy interviews myself, honestly, like where, there's been some companies I've gone to, and this doesn't speak to every company that is a family run business. Like, those can work out. There can be good ones, but there's also some times where it doesn't. It really depends. And there was a place that I interviewed once where it just felt like this is going to be terrible. I don't think this is going to be good. Like, the entire executive board of of the business was a family. It's like, okay, well, you're definitely not looking for the best. You're looking for blood. Okay, got it. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
can
think
relate.
there's a lot of that kind of stuff that goes on, but yeah, it's surprising sometimes when you're in interviews what goes on.
Yeah, and I think that you're learning a lot about yourself, what's important to you, and finding out what's important to them too. Like I said, they're coming at you. They've done, a bunch of other interviews. They're asking the same questions. Be prepared. You're interviewing them as well. You need to decide where you want to work. And, I know that that's not always the case in every situation. And sometimes people, need to kind of find what's next, and they don't have the luxury of making all of the decisions. They need to kind of figure out what works for them. And that's okay too. I think it's always okay to kind of find a spot that will kind of create the security you need to continue to kind of figure out where you want to be in the future. And I don't want to glamorize the idea that, I just posted on LinkedIn a couple times and I called some friends and I found this amazing job. Like, it's not that easy. And I was very fortunate in my journey, and I feel like I did put some work in, but I also know that it's not always easy for everybody. So I do not want to glamorize that, and I want to always be a person that if anybody needs a connection or conversation, that they can reach out to me, and I'm happy to have those conversations too to help.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you putting that out there. I'm sure others will too. But please, people, don't wait until you need the help to
Yeah,
connect with people. Connect with
for
people now.
sure.
Like, I want to implore you, because if people know you and they care about you, they're going to help you.
Yeah,
If you're a good, doing my best person, then people are going to help you out. So don't
I
wait.
agree. I agree. And I think it's also the giving back, right? Like, um, I even something as simple as someone that I don't know super well, if I see that they just landed a new job, uh, I am so quick to be like, congratulations, this is amazing. I don't probably even know you that well, but we connected on LinkedIn at some point, and I am
Yeah.
happy for you because it's an exciting time for you, and you're making a change. It's a big leap. Oftentimes we talk in our industry about how we're not just selling a widget, we are selling people's homes. These are big decisions, big experiences, and we need to treat it as such when we're taking a look at it from a marketing perspective, as well as when we're welcoming those new residents in. And I think that we need to kind of take those expectations that we have for reputation and our reputation management, and how we want to treat people, kind of take that into your personal and professional mindset as well, because you are creating a reputation for yourself. Sure, I'm not walking around with a 5-star Google review attached to my name,
Maybe you are.
but I mean, maybe that's next. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
on to something. But, when you think about how would someone rate you as a colleague, as, someone that's a connection to them in the industry, and, I want that good reputation. I want to be someone that someone feels comfortable with, to reach out for whatever reason.
Absolutely. No, that's a great approach, and I think, uh, I mean, just like some of the people on here, they're cheering you on right now. They're people and they want nothing but the best and are excited that you've landed somewhere. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Thanks,
it,
guys.
yeah, it's nothing but good to do good for others and root them on, because it'll come back to you.
For sure.
Really well.
For sure. It's that karma thing, right?
Yeah. I think sometimes that kind of stuff is true, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you are putting enough good out there, a lot of times you're going to have it come back. So
Yeah. Well, I I'll go back to say everything happens for a reason. Something greater is going to happen. So be open to it. And karma is definitely a thing. If you put goodness out there, it's going to come back to you. So I think it's
Yeah.
always, kind of be in that mindset for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, for sure. All right. And then let's see. The last thing that you really wanted to hit on was how to empower your teams to be innovative, drive innovation,
Yeah.
and to achieve success. So, what is it that you, I guess, when you're over a team in the role
Yeah.
you're in, how are you? What's your approach in that?
Yeah. So I think right now we are in this like renaissance in multifamily where we have notoriously been a little bit behind the ball on tech, right?
Mm,
And we pushed, I think we pushed through a bit.
yeah.
We were forced to during COVID. Some of us were like Frankensteining some solutions there, and we've come to a better place now, I believe, coming out the other side of it and having an understanding that it's not just a want, it's a need, it's a must, to make sure that we're using the right tools and that we are looking at them from the end user. And a lot of times, we are not the end user. It's either our residents or our prospects, and we really need to
Right.
be in tune with that experience of what that looks like. So I think it's always important to really stay in tune with what's happening. Everything's moving so quickly. Everybody has a new release, a new change. So I think it's super important to make sure that you're on top of it and you're in that space to have an understanding of what innovations are happening, to know that maybe something that worked great when you were trying to figure out what was going on in the middle of COVID, that might not be the best solution for you anymore.
Mm,
And being open to kind of making change and not always doing things the way that they've always been done, but looking at ways that you can improve and streamline a lot of the needs that are being driven by the changing environment. And one of the things that my team is looking at and really kind of forging is leasing centralization. And what does this look
mm,
like for us? And I will say, I know a lot of us in this industry are in this space and trying to figure out what that looks like. And it's not a one size fits all. Everybody has different goals, different KPIs that they're trying to hit, and what that model looks like for each of them. So I think, perfect setup as we are about to walk into NAA and we're about to talk AI and bots and
yeah.
over and over again. It's been the conversation for quite a few years, and
Right.
I think it's going to be a strong one next week. But I think it's important to tap into and have an understanding of what's out there, what your choices are, and then figure out, how do you implement it? What does that look like? What is the lift on our teams? Is it a big lift in the beginning, but it's going to free up a ton of time in the long run? And what does that look like for you? And is it going to meet those goals that you have for whatever pilot or beta test or different direction that you're going in? I think you need to be really thoughtful of the end user, the
Yeah.
overall experience, and what that looks like. So the other thing that even right now, a lot of conversation we're having in the team is like, it's okay if we try this and it doesn't work and we need to figure out the next option. And I think making sure you have those next options kind of in line and know your plan in terms of products and resources is super important, because you can be overwhelmed and overloaded, and really having an understanding of a plan is important in this space of we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So something I'm curious about when it comes to like really like honing, you mentioned pilots, and
Yeah.
um, I think there has been a shift, right? because there's such an overwhelming amount of technology available now. A lot of
Mhm.
it doing similar things, some of it having overlap, just
For sure.
so many options, so much investment in the space of prop tech and things like that. Um, how is it that you guys are coming to conclusions on what to use? And how are you being more thoughtful maybe now than you were 5 years ago when it comes to that? Because I know from our experience, it used to be very heavy on site by site, but I think
Yeah.
gone are the days of that. I mean, it's still happening, but I think companies are preferring that it didn't. So what is it that you, at least at your company and your approach, like what are you guys trying to do?
Yeah, I think that we're trying to find the ways that we can streamline things. So I think you're right. It's while you don't always want to put all your eggs in one basket, I think that implementation of products that you can kind of stretch across multiple properties is easiest for everyone from a training perspective,
Mhm.
from implementation, from setup, and so on. So while you might want to also look at alternatives or A/B test in some of those situations, I think when you can kind of settle in one space, it does streamline things and make it easier, especially when you have concentrated properties where you might even have team members that are going from property to property, or in a centralized sense where you're sharing properties and leads and team members and all of those things, being able to kind of create consistency so that someone can jump from one property to the next and be able to feel comfortable with the tools that they have. Uh, Everybody's tech stack is so different,
Yeah.
and what their goals are. And I could give you a call and be like, hey, tell me about this product, and be like, it is the best thing ever. And then I try to incorporate it in my tech stack and I'm like, I can't even get this to work. What?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not the case, but that sometimes you do need to kind of dive in head first. And if you can do a small test and kind of figure things out, I would never recommend going all in and rolling something you haven't tested across an entire portfolio or a larger group of properties, because you're impacting a lot of people's day to day in doing that. And if it goes wrong, it's a lot harder to unwind. So I think starting small and figuring out what works and then expanding from there is always the best approach.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. And
Yeah. I don't think
I
that's
think,
rocket science, right? I
yeah,
mean,
well,
yes.
totally. Yeah. So would you say when it comes, I mean, you're over leasing and sales, marketing,
Mhm.
who in your team, is it you that like is out there shopping around finding that tech, or is it that you guys are starting to even have a person that's kind of over the tech aspect?
Yeah, so we do have someone internally that really kind of manages the overall picture of what that looks like for us, to make sure that, we are using the right tools, that we are partnering together. So I don't think that you should ever be doing any of this in a complete silo,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you could really go rogue and do some things. I think that overall you need the buy-in from multiple different cross-functional groups to make sure that everybody's feeling as though this is the right approach. So a lot of times from a marketing standpoint, and a lot of the tools that are really focused in that marketing space, um, bots, website tools, nurturing tools, anything that's part of that sales process, um, I do tend to take the lead on what does that look like, and that kind of falling in the expertise of our department. But it's also having those bigger conversations about how does this touch the entire organization, how does this play on the day to day of someone leasing at a property, and um, is it going to make things easier or more difficult? So I think looking at it from the operations perspective, from an IT and management of software, and then also from that marketing standpoint. So I don't think that anything should be really done in a bubble, um, or done in a bubble. Yeah, done in
Yeah.
a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and I think sometimes the challenge behind it all is also the type of company you are,
Right.
because, um, if Are you guys owner managed or third party?
So we do own, we have a bunch of funds as well. We are developing properties, but then we also are stretching our wings into third party.
Okay.
So we are trying to build that business as well. So it's an exciting time, and I think that, the road you're going down now is, you're looking at, what does this look like for your partners as well? Do they want to buy into this tech? Are they
Right.
open to it? How does that fit with different ownership groups, and being able to figure out what that looks like? And, in my experience too, sometimes there are asks from ownership groups that, you normally wouldn't do. And it kind of stretches you into spaces that you're like, wow, wait a second, this is a great product. Maybe we should look at this elsewhere. So, I think it's going into things open-minded as well.
Yeah. But that is a wrinkle, like bringing in other people, other owners,
Yep.
other opinions,
Yeah,
and they have weight because they're bringing money. So
for sure.
it's something you have to weigh, obviously, and so that's a whole nother dynamic, like
Yeah,
it.
that's a whole nother podcast.
Absolutely. No, it is. It is. That is. I mean, that's a challenging part of our industry for sure, because
For sure.
it's a dynamic that everybody's handling, and that's where sometimes it is site level specific decision making
Hmm.
at times. So, anyways, it's just it can be definitely a challenge, but like you said, you've also been exposed to things that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise tried out because it was like, well, they use that, but I never have. So,
Right. Right. So sometimes, what feels like, oh, this is going to be a headache. Wait a second. No, wait. I didn't come into it from the right mindset. This could actually be good for other uses. So I think it's creating that open mind of walking into things as well, of, it's not, your way is not always the right way.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like it is,
I
but
mean, most of the time it is, but eh,
I have ideas. All my ideas are good. All of them.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of them, anyways.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
be. If you
yeah.
weren't, I mean,
I do my best. Well, Jillian, it's been a joy to have you. I've really appreciated your feedback, your perspectives, and honestly, even just this last bit about like what's it like right now? What's it like to pick technology and things like
yeah,
that? Because it has been such a shift in like a short amount of time
for
of
sure.
so many options, and it's like, what is the right one?
Yep. Yeah, it's overwhelming sometimes. And, full circle, next week will be overwhelming. Make sure you keep some space for yourself after
Yep.
brunch, of course. I will definitely be there.
Yes. Yeah. And that'll be before the crazy, right? So
Yeah,
this is
before
going to
the
be,
crazy. Yeah. Yep.
make your connections, drink your coffee, get some lunch or breakfast, and
Yeah.
ready for your day on
Go
Wednesday.
about,
So,
yeah, go about your day.
absolutely. Super excited to meet you in person. I think we met at AIM in
We
2021.
did. I thought
Yes.
about, for like 1 second, bringing my t-shirt that
Okay.
you like pressed in the
Yes.
hallway at AIM. I
What
have
did
that
what
still.
did yours say, by the way? What did you choose?
It was like, I'm a marketing boss or something like
Okay.
that. Whatever
Yeah.
the saying
Makes
was
sense.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Market
So
like a
I thought,
boss.
market like a boss. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Speaking of
appreciate
that,
it. Still have it.
yeah. So we were a different company, and then during that period, we were a different company, like name wise, and
Yeah.
then now we're Community Boss. So talk about marketing and
Might need some new t-shirts.
change. Yeah, we might do that again. It was fun to make t-shirts for everybody. And this year we're gonna have some fun ones. They're gonna have, the love logo in Philly, or
Yes,
the
of
the
course.
statue. So
Yeah.
ours is gonna say boss, but in the same font and
Okay.
arrangement, and our
Yeah.
shirts will represent that.
Love it.
It's fun. All right. So again, Jillian, thank you so much for being here and being a boss today. And
Thank you.
as we head into apartmentalize, I will be taking a break from my normal broadcast schedule, but at Apartmentalize, I will be doing some mini sessions just like I did last year. I'm actually going to do a recording with somebody, so stay tuned for that. We're going to do an episode from Apartmentalize, and that should be a lot of fun, reflecting on all that's going on. But otherwise, if you are a boss, if you are somebody that has passion for this industry, for leadership, for developing yourself, regardless of your position that you hold, you don't have to be the CEO of a company. You can be just starting out in the industry, but super passionate about what you're doing. I'd love to know you and have you on the show. Reach out to me and we'll make it happen. So until 2 weeks from now, when we do live again, I hope everybody that's going to Apartmentalize has fun. I'll see you there, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.